my music. I want it a little louder. But yes, The Secret to Relationships, Chapter 6. This was juicy. This is a good one. This was a good one. Honestly, I'm going to see how I feel next week, but a strong part of me thinks we need to read this chapter again next week because it was just so good. It really was. So the chapter started off with the example of the artist that wanted to attract more romance into his life, but he would paint pictures of women turning away from him or, looking snooty. And if you watch the movie, the documentary, The Secret, you probably remember this portion of the documentary. But he was advised to start drawing because of his creative process, his creativity, to start to draw what it was that he wanted from women. So he started to draw himself with multiple women. He said he wanted to go on 3 dates a week. So then it started to happen, and then it became overwhelming. And he changed his mind and said, hey, I'm ready to settle down and get married. So he started drawing pictures of him getting married. And within a year, he was married. So that's the thing about law of attraction. It works very quickly. The universe is looking for the easiest, most effective, most quickest way to bring you what your desires are. All you have to do is make sure you're aligned with the frequency. If you're not aligned with the frequency, then it takes longer. Okay. So in terms of relationships, it's interesting because I am very good at the attraction process. I'm very good at setting up my actions. I'm very good. I actually think I know I mastered that over 10 years ago. The part that I'm currently learning, and I'm sure all of us took something away from this chapter, is when there's issues in a relationship, how to shift that part, right? So that's what I've been really focusing on. And I started doing that the first time I read Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, which was the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I started focusing on the things I like, focusing on the things I love. I learned that from another book that I read too. But now I understand it on a whole different level because it's easy, to talk about good stuff when things are going well. When you're having problems with a person, whether it's a coworker, whether it's a boss, whether it's an intimate relationship, your children, the first thing you want to do is complain. But the reality of it is you have to focus on what it is that you love about that person. Okay. And I'm going to get to the details of that. But I'm really thinking we're going to run this back again next week because it's really good. And I think it's very important. And I think I know that this is one of the parts of the law of attraction that I've been working on because there's a thin line. You have to stay focused on your frequency. You can't control another person, but then at the same time, while you're focusing on your frequency, you don't want to seem cold or disrespectful to another person. You want to seem like you're leaving a person behind. So it's a lot of nuances, I feel like, in the relationship aspect to The Secret. And I really think I have a grasp and understanding of it now. And that's why I think it's good to read this again so that we can hear it again. It was a lot in this chapter, and it's a lot of things that we can take away. So also, there was another example of this lady, and she was very clear about what it is that she wanted in a romantic partner, very clear about how she wanted the relationship to go. She had that down pat, but her actions contradicted her internal thoughts and wishes. Sometimes we have to be aware of our actions going against what it is that we are thinking. And I'm going to get into 2 examples of that. We're going to talk about it, the relationship, and we're going to talk about Rhonda Byrne's sister who wanted to move. And then I'm going to talk about my personal situations because I've experienced this recently. So what happened is the lady realized that her actions weren't lining up to what it is that she was asking for. Okay. She wasn't making space for her partner. She wanted a partner. She was driving home and she'll park in the middle of her garage. She didn't make space for her partner's car. She realized that she slept in the middle of the bed. She didn't make space for her partner because what you have to understand is you have to act as if it's happening, that you received it already. So if her partner's there, she has to give space to him. She can't sleep in the middle of the bed if her partner's here. She's acting as if, right? If her partner's here, she can't park the car in the middle of the garage. The partner's there. The partner's there. You have to act as if. That was one of the things that I did years ago, and I attracted my first husband. When I did this, I literally had a toothbrush. My toothbrush, I had another toothbrush. I left space open in my drawers. I left space open in my closet. I only use one side of the closet. You only use one drawer. I literally made space for me to attract him into my life. And it happened very quickly. Also, when I moved into this home, I have a dual vanity in my bathroom. I have a walk-in closet. I use mostly one side. I have some more stuff in my garage now. I have couches and stuff out there. But when I was parking in my garage, I was parking on one side. Not really doing it on purpose, but when I think back to it, I was parking on one side. And those of you that have been following me, you know that I've been focusing on manifesting and working on this aspect of my life and how I manifested my current relationship. And I remember within like one of the first few times that he came to visit, he said to me, like, why do you have all this space in this home? There's too much space for you. And I said, no, it's for manifesting. I knew what I wanted to manifest, and I have the space for what I manifest. So I have the space. I said, I manifested you. And he was like, oh, okay. So he was able to process it because literally there was space. I had to rearrange a few things under the sink and maybe in the closet a little bit, but there was already space. Okay. There was already space for him. There's space for his daughter. There's space. It's already there. So we have to be mindful of our actions. Let me give you another example. For those of you that know when I was moving into this home, what was one of the things that I did? I didn't understand it at the time, but one of the things that I did was I packed up my apartment. I had packed my apartment a year ago in March because I was like, I'm moving. Okay. I didn't move till July because I had a few more other things that I had to align with. I had to align my thoughts. I had to align my belief. It was a lot of other things that I had to align. But I started packing in March. I had my apartment completely packed. And it honestly, it honestly wasn't until the end of June when I officially said I'm moving. Like, I don't care what's happening. I'm moving. I'm manifesting this, right? I packed everything up. And I packed up every pot, every pan, every dishes. We was eating out because I knew he was moving and I was ready to move at a moment's notice. We was using the very bare minimum. Like, the very, very bare minimum. Like, we literally ate out, I think, for a week and a half because I had packed everything up. I had surprise visits on my birthday, and I had to go in the boxes to get cups and stuff because there was people over, and I didn't have cups for them to drink out of. And I had to rinse them out and put them back in the box. But I literally packed up everything. Also, Rhonda Byrne talked about her sister that wanted to move, and she realized her actions didn't line up. So she started canceling membership. She started doing the things that she needed to do so that she could move. One second. Why aren't you in class? Did you ask him nicely? And did you tell him your tablet was dead? No, you didn't. Go ask him nicely and tell him your tablet's dead and you need to get into class. Thank you. I'm sorry. So you have to act as if. What would you be doing? Ask yourself this question. What would I be doing if I receive the house? So some of you are doing house hunting right now. Okay, what is the process of if you have the house? Right now you're looking. So if you do find a house, what would be the next steps? Okay, what would be your next steps? I literally started calling moving companies. I didn't hear from the leasing office. I didn't even know if I got approved for the house. I didn't care. I was calling moving companies to see who was available. I called moving companies. I said, I'm going to need y'all on Saturday. I hadn't signed a lease. I hadn't even known if I got approved yet. I knew I was moving. I was going to move. Period. That was it. So, and I found the guy that said, yeah, I'll be available early Saturday. I said, okay, as soon as I get the okay, I'm going to call you and get you the okay. But I'm about 90% sure. And he was like, okay, just let me know. Sure enough, everything went through. Y'all noticed, most of y'all know the story that I finally got the call on Friday. And she said, okay, I think I sent them an email and they called me and it was like, we're so sorry it's taking so long because it took them 2 weeks to process my stuff and it was only supposed to take 3 days. So sorry it took so long. We got everything. We made the calls. We da-da-da-da. When do you want to move? I said today. She said, okay, I need to work on your lease and I need you to do this, and this. Everything got done by 5 o'clock that Friday. I called them. I was like, we good for tomorrow. Be here. Here's my address. They came. Everything was smooth. Completely smooth. But I was acting as if, okay? Acting as if. If you are, wanting to manifest a car, what would you do? Okay, maybe look into insurance. How much does it cost for my insurance? What are the actions? Your actions aligning with what it is that you're manifesting. Okay, what is it that you're acting as if? Do you know I had my stuff packed for 3 months? I literally had a friend that came over and was like, "Are you moving?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm moving." Your stuff been packed for months. So I am moving. I was moving, period. I don't care if my stuff has been packed for months or what you think about it. You know where you're moving to? I don't know yet. But when I do know, I know. And I move. You act as if. You act as if you already received it. If it's a relationship, what would you be doing if you was in a relationship? Would you make space for them in your home? Would you make space in your budget for date nights? Would you make space in your schedule? Okay. Would you make space in your schedule for date nights? What would you be doing? What actions align with what it is that you are wanting? What are those actions? Okay. Make sure you might have the thoughts there. The feelings might be there, but your actions may be contradicting. Your actions may be contradicting just from the past of how you dealt with things. When I manifested my relationship, I told y'all it was different for me at first. I had to adjust. I said, you know what? This is a person that wants to be here. Why do I need to halt it? Why do I need to say, hey, no, or follow whatever it is, or whatever societal rules there are? And I said I had to stop myself. I remember having to be consciously aware of my actions because I manifested and asked it. Why push it away? This is what I manifested. It doesn't matter how fast it's moving. It doesn't matter what speed it is. Who cares what society is saying? Because society is not aware of law of attraction. So all the stories you typically hear also about relationships and things when it comes to law of attraction happens within a year or so. So things move very quickly. Things are still going well. I still have faith in that it's going well. Things changed a little bit, as I shared with you in the beginning, but I still have faith in the situation. Sybil says she knows where the baby shower is going to be and what you're wearing. Another thing that I did when I was moving, I made a registry. I made a home registry. I literally was thinking about everything I wanted in the house. I made a registry. I still have that, and I knew that I want to go back to it and purchase from it. I made a registry, so that's something else. Sybil's in the process of manifesting a baby. Registry. That's another way. Start getting into that. The registry. What would you do? You know what I mean? If you was pregnant. What kind of research? Finding the doctors that you want to deliver your baby. Do you want to do prenatal yoga? Finding who that is to see when the classes are. I go to a prenatal chiropractor. So the chiropractor adjusts me every single week to prepare me for birth. So that is something else you can look into. Whatever it is that you need to do. I did start my registry last week. Yeah, a little bit. So, sometimes you may not even realize your innermost thoughts, but you can see what you've been thinking by looking at the actions you have been taking. Okay? So sometimes you aren't even aware of it, but how do you act? How do you respond? Are your actions aligning with it? You're saying, hey, I'm going to manifest, I'm a millionaire. Well, what are your actions doing? Are you acting as if a millionaire would act? Or are you acting as a thousandaire or a hundredaire? What are your actions You manifesting a relationship. Are your actions aligned with that? If you manifesting a relationship with a partner, are you being open to men or women talking to you? I saw a funny meme, not even meme. It was a status my cousin wrote last night, and she said, "I realized in order for me to have a boyfriend that I actually have to be nice to men." So her inner thoughts and wishes and what she wanted to manifest was a boyfriend, but her actions was that she was being mean to men. So she came to the realization like, hey, these are contradicting. How am I going to manifest a man if I'm being mean to men? If a man approaches me and says something nice to me and I'm being mean to them. You know what I mean? Or every man is this, or men are that, or you have to make sure your actions align. And one of the things I learned from the other book is that don't get so caught up in the dating process. Enjoy what you enjoy about the date. You don't have to make a life decision about if they're the one or not. Go on a date, have fun, leave it at that. If it flows, y'all will talk again. If not, you will not. And that's just that. You don't have to scrutinize the person while you're on a date. Focus on what you're enjoying. Oh, this is a nice restaurant. Oh, we have an interesting conversation. This is a pretty interesting person. Oh, I like this about him. He's a gentleman. You can just focus on what it is that you like and enjoy the process. You don't have to make a decision while you're there. Be present in the moment. Don't focus on everything you don't like. Focus on what you are liking. In order, the creative process is 3 steps. Ask, believe, receive. You receive by feeling good. You feel good by focusing on what makes you feel good and what you like. But if you're focusing on what you don't like, you're not going to feel good. You're out of alignment with what you asked for. Then you're not having faith or believing. Nothing in there says that you have to figure out how you manifest. It just says ask, believe, have unwavering faith, and receive. And you receive by feeling good. Whatever makes you feel good. It doesn't even have to be aligned with what it is you asked for. If singing and dancing in the shower makes you feel good, well, do it. If going for a walk makes you feel good, do it. If you're at a restaurant, or even if you're going on a date, go pick your favorite restaurant. You know, some you get so caught up. Oh, he's asking me what I want to do. I just want him to figure it out. I want him to know everything. Why I gotta do this? Get out of that. Get out of that. That is contradicting what it is that you're asking for. Okay, well, since I get to pick, what do I feel like eating? What's my favorite restaurant? Enjoy the process. Enjoy the process. Well, shoot, I want to go to Benihana's. Okay, well, I want to go to Atlanta Seafood Market. I want to go wherever it is that you want to do. Say, hey, this is what I want to do. They leave it up to you. This is what I want to do. You get to not only, and then guess what? If there's not much that you like about the person, at least you pick the food. You like the food. Oh, this food is good. I love the food. I love the ambiance. Whatever it is. You want to go to a concert? You want to do whatever? Pick it, and if you pick it, you know for sure you're gonna have fun. Getting caught up in the whole I want him to figure it out thing, that's contradicting what you're trying to manifest. Do what makes you feel good. Okay? Do what makes you feel good. Do what makes you feel good. Let me read y'all comments. I know I'm weird, but I planned this when Baby's story used to play on TLC. Nothing's wrong with that. Manifesting your baby. Planning that story. Sybil says she's registered at Bye Bye Baby, Target, and she's also looking up doulas because she's acting as if she's manifesting her child. It says, I told myself that when I was buying stuff for my room, I'm buying what will go in my house, and I'm getting it. So she's already focused on that. Tia said, definitely me. I'm so thankful for my awareness. She's referring to talking about relationship. Jamila said, my mom was highly upset. Like, excuse me, I'm not babysitting, so I don't know what you're planning. Nobody asked mom what she was planning. You got this figured all out. Jamila said, that was for me. And Rachel said, oop, that's definitely for me. Okay, I see now. Focus on what makes you feel good. Okay? Focus on what makes you feel good. Focus on what makes you feel good. That's in every situation. And it's not going to be easy the first time you do it because it's changing how you're thinking. And it's changing you from out of a habit of complaining. So instead of complaining about what you don't like, focus on what you do like. What do you do like about men? Men look handsome. Men are protectors. If you need to find men that exemplify this on Instagram and follow them, do it. Don't be following them pages that be talking about the worst thing of men and the shade room and the people that be bashing people, especially if you're sensitive to that. Like last night I read this post somebody posted about, list when they cheated on you or something. And I literally read through some of the stuff and I wasn't fazed by any of it. And I haven't had a problem in my relationships with cheating by any means, where I've had friends that have been cheated on every relationship, because I don't have those kind of thoughts. I don't have those kind of thoughts. And people used to always think I was crazy. I was like that very young. I remember in high school, people be like, well, what if he cheats? I'm like, listen, I don't have time to babysit somebody. They're going to do what they're going to do. If I find out, I'll make a decision then. If I don't find out, then I don't find out. But I'm not going to sit here and consume my thoughts about it. I never consume my thoughts about it. And I just didn't. So I never had that problem in my relationship at all. So, whereas if you're a person that you know that you're changing your thoughts from the thoughts that a man or somebody is a cheater, you don't need to put that stuff around you. You don't need to be reading that stuff. It don't need to be around you at all. Okay. Sarah said, I had a friend who used to do stuff like purchase a wedding dress when we were in college. All the things came to pass, but I don't think she realized she was manifesting. Right. Sometimes people manifest consciously and unconsciously. I think that's good. Go ahead and purchase your wedding dress. I like that. I honestly been thinking about getting a ring and putting it on my finger, just so I can have the visual and start just referring to, my boyfriend as my husband. So, or just saying husband. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's cool. It says, when you want to attract something in your life, make sure your actions don't contradict your desires. Okay? Think about what you've asked for and make sure that your actions are mirroring what you expect to receive and that they aren't contradicting what you asked for. Act as if you're receiving it. Do exactly what you would do if you were receiving it today, and take actions in your life to reflect that powerful expectation. Make room to receive your desires, and as you do, you are sending out that powerful signal of expectation. Okay? So now, let's talk about you. You got to work on you. Okay? You say you wish you could come through the phone. Why you want to come through the phone, Sybil? Yes, your job is you. Your job is not somebody else. Your job is not anybody else outside of yourself, okay? So here's the question. Ready? Drum roll. Question. Do you treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you? I want to type that in because I want y'all to answer. Do you treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you? I've come a long way. A long, long way in this. Long, long way. I feel like I really do. I might have to be mindful more of my actions like we just finished talking about, but for the most part, I've come a long way. Do you treat... I was one of those people that would sacrifice to be a nice person, they say. Deplete yourself and give to somebody else. And that's when I started realizing the resentment. I figured that out on my own in college. I was just like, nah, I got to start saying no because I'm going to stop lying. I'm starting not to like you. And the only reason I'm not liking you is because I didn't tell you no. It's not anybody else's fault but my own. And you just going to have to be mad at me. But at least I still like you. Do you treat yourself the way you want other people to treat you? I want to pin that for anybody that might come in. Jamila said yes. Oh, someone said I wear an engagement ring off and on. Wow. I take it off because my mom says I'm blocking my blessings of getting married by wearing it. That's old people stuff. I don't listen. If somebody, I don't want to come off rude, but if somebody is not living a life that I would desire to live, I'm not taking any advice from them. Period, point blank. It just is what it is. Even if you're married, if your marriage is not a marriage that I will want to have, I'm not taking advice from you. If I don't see you manifesting what it is you desire in your life, I'm not taking advice from you. I might listen, you might give me a different perspective, but to fully take on advice of another, I'm taking on advice of another, of somebody that is living a life exactly the way I would like to live my life. So Jamila said, yes, she treats herself the way she would want other people to treat her. Brittany said, yes, with growth daily. That's good. And Jamila said, this is what I realized over the weekend. Tia said, I'm starting to now. I had to release some things. So, yeah, I realized I don't have a ring. So that's something that I do want to go find. And I'm not going to, get anything fancy, just something to put on my finger. And that's just that. Yes, it just you can get people, you can listen to what people have to say. They might give you a different perspective, expand your consciousness a little bit. That's cool. But at the end of the day, ask yourself, is that what I want to manifest in my life? Right. Okay. When you do not treat yourself the way you want others to treat you, you can never change the way things are. Your actions are your powerful thoughts. Your actions are your powerful thoughts. So if you do not treat yourself with love and respect, you're emitting a signal that is saying you are not important enough, worthy enough, or deserving. That signal will continue to be broadcasted, and you will experience more situations of people not treating you well. The people are just the effect. Your thoughts are the cause. You must begin to treat yourself with love and respect and emit that signal and get on that frequency. Then the law of attraction will move the entire universe, and your life will be full of people who love and respect you. Okay? That's just that. That's just that. Sue says, yes, I have. Someone told me they love the person I'm becoming that made me smile from the inside. That is great. That is good feedback. That's good effects. The people are just effect. Your thoughts are the cause. Okay. I'm going to continue. This is one of the pages that the whole page was good. Both these next two pages is just good. Many people have sacrificed themselves for others, thinking when they sacrifice themselves, they are being a good person. Wrong. Wrong. To sacrifice yourself can only come from thoughts of absolute lack, because it is saying there is not enough for everyone, so I will go without. Those feelings do not feel good and will eventually lead to resentment. There is abundance for everybody, and it is each person's responsibility. It is each person's responsibility. It is each person's responsibility to summon their own desires. It's not anybody else's responsibility. It's your own responsibility to summon your own desires. You cannot summon for another person because you cannot think and feel for another. Your job is you. When you make feeling good a priority, that magnificent frequency will radiate and touch everyone close to you. Okay, Dr. John Gray, you become the solution for you. Don't point to another person and say, now you owe me and you need to give me more. Instead, give more to yourself. Take time off to give to yourself, and in a sense, to fill yourself up to fullness, to where now you can overflow in giving. Charles Hamill says to acquire love, fill yourself up with it until you become a magnet. Until you become a magnet. And Jamila is saying that she doesn't experience half the disrespect people have to deal with, because she's a living testimony of making sure she treats herself well. I think that is definitely something that I think that's something that fire signs, Jamila is an Aries. Fire signs, I think, naturally are born that way, where they think of themselves first. And people will call themselves centered or selfish, but it really aligns with this thought process. It really aligns with the law of attraction. Okay. Many of us were taught to put ourselves last. And as a consequence, we attracted feelings of being unworthy and undeserving. As those feelings lodge within us, we continue to attract more life situations that had us feeling more unworthy and not enough. You must change that thinking. Undoubtedly, to some, the idea of giving so much love to self will seem very cold, hard, and unmerciful. Still, this matter may be seen in a different light when we find that looking out for number one, as directed by the infinite, is really looking out for number two, and is indeed the only way to permanently benefit number two. If you don't look out for yourself, then you can't be a benefit to somebody else, okay? Unless you fill yourself up first, you have nothing to give anybody else. Therefore, it's imperative that you tend to you first. Attend to your joy first. People are responsible for their own joy. When you tend to your joy and do what makes you feel good, you are a joy to be around, and you are a shining example to every child and every person in your life. When you're feeling joy, you don't even have to think about giving. It is a natural flow. That is something I talk about often. When everybody's in a good mood, in a joyous mood, you want to share, you want to give, you are in a flowing of give. And I use the example of Christmas time. I feel like as a collective, everybody is on that good vibration around Christmas. They're feeling good, they're speaking, and they're Merry Christmas, and they're giving away stuff, giving gifts, and it's just the overflow because they're in a place of joy, okay? The reason you have to love you is because it is impossible to feel good if you don't love you. When you feel bad about yourself, you are blocking all the love and all the good the universe has for you. When you feel bad about yourself, it feels as though you are sucking the life out of you because of all your good on every single subject, including health, wealth, and love, is on a frequency of joy and feeling good. The feeling of having unlimited energy and that amazing feeling of health and wellness are all on the frequency of feeling good. Everything you want is on the frequency of feeling good. That's why the third step of the creative process is to receive, is to feel good. When you don't feel good about you, you are on a frequency that is attracting more people, situations, and circumstances that will continue to make you feel bad about you. You must change your focus and begin to think about all the things that are wonderful about you. Look for the positives in you. As you focus on those things, the law of attraction will show you more great things about you. You attract what you think about. And all you have to do is begin with one prolonged thought of something good about you. The law of attraction will respond by giving you more like thoughts. Look for the good things about you. Seek and ye shall find. Okay? Seek and ye shall find. Look for the good things about you. Someone said, listen, I gave a homeless man 20 yesterday. He looked at me crazy. I said, God bless. Make sure you eat something, and walked off and looked back on the look on his face was priceless. Right? I did give. I'm always torn because I do some of the homeless people. If y'all ever visit Greensboro, you will find that there's people on a lot of corners here, and they've made it a job. Some I've seen here for the last 2 years, and some of them I know have habits. But you have people that say, well, how do I know what the people are using it for? They're using it for good. It's not for you to figure that out. It's for you to focus on your part. Your part is to give and leave it at that. Whatever that person does with them is between them and God. It's not my business. Okay. So Marcy Shermoff says, for relationships to really work, we need to focus on what we appreciate about the other person, not what we're complaining about. So here's an exercise that she says, and this is for your coworkers, your boss, your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your sister, your brother, your kids, your spouse, whoever you're in a relationship with. For that relationship to work, you need to focus on what you appreciate about the other person, not what you're complaining about. Okay? So So she says, take a piece of paper and for the next 30 days, sit down and write all the things you appreciate about the person. Think about all the reasons that you love them. You appreciate their sense of humor. You appreciate how supportive they are. And what you'll find is when you focus on appreciating and acknowledging their strengths, that's what you'll get more of and the problems will fade away. Now, I'll take this a step further. Don't even do this with just other people, but do this for yourself. If you're one of those people that are having a challenge with finding what you love about yourself or finding the good in yourself, to help you focus on that so that you'll attract more people that will in situations that are good to you. In the next 30 days, write the things that you appreciate about yourself. Think about the reasons you love yourself. Think about, what you appreciate about yourself and write it down. Okay? Write it down. Your joy lies within yourself. Your joy is within you. Okay, we cannot control another's behavior. So if we rely on another person to provide us joy, it is only temporary because that person can change their behavior, change their mind, change anything, and we have no control over that. And if they change that, then we may not like what they change. When we rely on another person for our happiness, that's called codependent. You do not want to be codependent relationships. You want to be in relation with another independently. Okay? You are independent by finding your joy within yourself. So it says this particular guy, I see him all the time. I even speak to him to make sure he's okay. His name is Matthew. That's cool. She's talking about the homeless guy that she gave money to. All of your joy is on the frequency of love, the highest and most powerful frequency of all. You can't hold love in your hand. You can only feel it in your heart, and it's a magnificent feeling. It's the best feeling that exists in the world to me. The best feeling. Love everything you can. Love everyone you can. Focus only on things you love. That includes movies you love, music you love, things you love, jobs you love. Feel the love and you will experience that love and joy coming back to you multiplied. As you radiate love, it would appear as though the entire universe is doing everything for you, moving every joyful thing to you and moving every good person to you. In truth, it is. Okay? The universe is. So that was chapter 6. Okay? That was chapter 6. Chapter 6 is the secret of relationships. Oh, goodness. I hope that was streaming. I thought I was streaming on YouTube. We'll see. Something happened to my screen. We shall see. If not, we're going to have to get it from here. So, yes, it was streaming. It just paused for a second. So, yes, that was good stuff. I want you to comment below on YouTube what your takeaway was from this. And for those of y'all on IG, I want y'all to comment what your takeaway is. My takeaway is making sure my actions are lined up with having received everything that I already desired. What would my actions be if I'm as a bestselling author? Well, the first action would be I'm going to put it in my bio. So that's something I'm going to do. Best-selling author. That's one thing I would seriously do. I would talk about it. I would display it. I would be proud of it. So that's an action that I would do as a best-selling author. And as a married person, what would I do differently? Well, one thing is I will be wearing a ring. I know that they have these things like, you'll block your blessings and stuff like that. But like I said, look at these people's life. If their life is not a life you want to live, think about who you're taking advice from. I love the example Tiara gave about a friend that she went to college with that bought her wedding dress. And she would do these things and she manifests everything. Everything came together as planned. Start looking for wedding dresses. Start planning a wedding. I already kind of have in my mind, I have a nursery plan for my child, which is manifesting already. It's baking. But, planning that. What does that look like? How do I act? What does that look like? I want a nanny. What does it look like to have a nanny? Okay. I already have that in my mind. I have that in my mind. So I would prefer to be awake with my child in the day and have the nanny have the baby at nighttime and slash early in the morning. Just interchange. What is that like? I need to make a living space for the nanny. I've already in my mind been rearranging how I'm going to rearrange the house some to just fit, everybody because there's space. So I'm rearranging my mind. I'm thinking about combining my son's game room and their room into one room and using their room as another bedroom. So yeah, I have a lot of different things in mind. So that's a big takeaway for me. So let me see what you all have said. Sybil said this chapter lets her know that she's moving in the right direction. That is beautiful. Confirmation is always good. Yes, making space for things you want. And I concur with Sybil. That's what Jamila says. I straight up told my parents I'm only taking some advice from you because I already see what's going wrong. I love the Jamila's straightforwardness. So, anybody else, what their takeaway was from this chapter? Um, yeah, I like the idea of writing everything you love about yourself or a person for 30 days. I'm gonna do that. Um, I'm gonna do that. I've already been focusing on the things that I love, and that's what's gotten me through my situation that I was talking to y'all about. Is I don't focus on what's happening. I don't take it personal. I focus on what I do love. So I'm gonna actually take the time to write it down, which will be really good. I'm excited to do it because it gives me something to do. I was thinking about some things to do, for fun. Just because I've really have more I have more time on my hands in a very interesting way. It's what I asked for, but everything's getting done. Everything's getting done efficiently, and I have time on my hands at the same time. And it's very interesting how it's happening. I'm very thankful. So I want to do more for myself. I enjoy concerts, and because of the pandemic, there's not a lot of concerts. I looked feverishly yesterday. So I'm looking forward to concerts again. That is definitely something that makes me so excited and I enjoy is concerts. So Brittany says, lets me know that I need to keep going and lead with actions. That is good. So I'm glad you all was able to take a takeaway away today. We went for an hour and a half on IG and about 45 minutes or so on on YouTube, excuse me. But this was good. And I'm thinking about us reading this chapter again next Monday. We'll see where the flow is next Monday and see how we go. All right. So I want y'all to have a beautiful day. And enjoy the day. Find something that brings you joy today. Find something that makes you feel good. Get really in tune with feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. Okay? Get in tune with that. All right? Make sure your actions are aligning with what it is that you are working towards manifesting. Sounds good? So I will talk to y'all later.